Hey everybody, welcome back behind the bar with me this evening. Tonight we're checking out I actually may have done I know I did recorded a beer for this from this brewery from this channel, but I don't know if I actually posted it. But this is Cellarmaker Brewing Company out of San Francisco, California. This is Imperial coffee and cigarettes smoked porter. This one comes courtesy of my man Scott. Dude, you sent this to me a while ago, and I'm just now getting a review done for it. My apologies, but I'm pumped for this. The only other review I've seen for this, my man Joe did this last year. He gave it 100, so I don't remember much from his review, but I'm pumped because of that. So it's a smoked porter ale with coffee added. Coffee beans, aromatics, blah blah blah. No cigarettes in it, so don't be silly. That's awesome. So yeah, don't know much about this beer. I've heard of it a few different times. Just people have mentioned it, but I really don't know much outside of that. It is 10.5%, 51 IBUs. So for a porter, really high. So an Imperial porter. Let's dive in and see what we think. Pours out. Wow, I can smell that. Whew. Big nose on this beer. Really good carbonation, about a finger of just fluffy mocha colored foam. Looks amazing. Looked pitch black in the glass. I mean, pitch black. Looks amazing. Let's dive in and see what it smells like. Big coffee, guys. Really nice roasty coffee. Not a lot of bitterness. You're not getting like that green pepper bitterness. Just like that, the inside of a green pepper, the like white part is what people are typically referring to when they say that. But just a nice, like almost like chocolatey roastiness. Like it's almost if you had like coffee beans and you just like sprinkled like a dusting of like chocolate powder on top of it, cocoa powder. And just like a nice deep sweet element, almost like just a nice sugary candied sweetness. Not quite like maple syrup, but there's like a nice sweetness to this as well. Nice big roasted malts, chocolate malts. Just really nice smelling beer. It smells like a really killer coffee beer. Awesome. This is not barrel aged, right? I don't believe so. Yeah, not a barrel aged beer. So that's like I wasn't picking up any barrel or anything like that, so I wanted to make sure. Yeah, smells awesome. Let's dive in. Scott, again, thank you very much. Sorry it took me a bit on this one, but I'm pumped. Cheers, guys. Oh, that's really good. This is bottled. Could have swore that this had a bottle date on it. December 6th, 2016. So we're right about 3 months old. So, up front, big hit of like dark roast coffee. I'm a coffee guy, and I love my coffee black, dark roast, medium roast, nice pour over, something along those lines. So it is definitely that. It's just a big like cup of coffee, black. It is big roastiness, almost like a burnt, like over roasted coffee bean thing. Not in a bad way. I get the smoked porter part of this though. But it blends really well with the coffee bean. So it's killer. You get like this nice roastiness that kind of goes into this like deep, dark, like earthy smokiness that's actually plays really well with the coffee. Really good mouthfeel. I mean, this is medium to medium plus. It almost, with the carbonation, almost gives it like a creamy effect. And it finishes like that. It finishes as if I just drank a cup of coffee, really. 10.5%, you're not picking up on that anywhere. It does have a nice little like bitterness to it. You can tell it said 51 IBUs. There's definitely a hot bitterness to this. It's like really earthy though. Like a really earthy piney bitterness that kind of lingers in there in the roastiness. But yeah, I don't remember a lot from Joe's review. I do remember him saying that he was getting like maple in his and all this. I don't get any of that. I get a little bit of a sweetness that kind of finishes in the back, almost like in the back of your tongue near your throat. I get a little bit of there, but this finish is primarily like really deep roast coffee and a little bit of that smokiness. If you're a coffee stout or coffee porter guy, you would love this beer. It's very forward. You get some nice roastiness from the malts. You get some really, really nice, would be the best to describe that, like kind of like that dusty aspect that you get from just picking up on the malt bill in a lot of beers. It's a really flavorful beer. It's not, you're not searching for anything. It's definitely in your face with the coffee aspect, and then also that smokiness that kind of lingers with those smoked malts. I'm not, and I've said this many times, I'm not a smoked beer fan by any means. I'm not a big fan of them, but it works well here. As far as a grade, I again think the only review I've seen of this, and it was a different batch, I believe, that Joe gave this beer, I think 100. I'm not anywhere near that. This is like a middle of the road A beer for me. Because I wish that I got more of what I got on the nose, on the taste. It's more of a harsh drinking, not harsh, but it's a much more forward, bold coffee flavor with the smokiness than the nose was. The nose was almost like a really just nice roasty coffee with almost, like I said, a little bit like a dusting of chocolate and then a nice sweetness. The taste doesn't really carry into that. If it did, this would be like an A+ beer, but it doesn't. It's a middle of the road A beer. Really, really good. I've mentioned this in some of my IPA videos. I've really started to evaluate in my mind what I'm really truly rating beers at the time. And I'm trying to like widen out my scale. So like a beer that I might have given, I was going to review a beer that's very common. It's in everybody's liquor store that I'm going to be doing here shortly. That I like initially was like, I really enjoy this. This is awesome for being what it is. And I was like, that would be an A, but it's still, like in the grand scheme of things, it's not. It's probably closer to like an A-, B+. Whereas this, you know, maybe a year ago I might have rated this a little higher, but I'm trying to really think out my rating scale and have not everything be an A. Because that gets a little boring and it really just, what's the point of having the rest of it? So anyways, this is a great beer, guys. If you are a coffee stout or coffee porter fan, oh, excuse me, woo, coffee burps. You'll really enjoy this beer. If you can get it, it doesn't trade for a whole lot, I don't think. I think it's fairly easy to get at Cellarmaker when it's around. You can get it for a little bit. So if that's the case, I would definitely pick it up if you like coffee beers. It's definitely coffee forward. I will give it that. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll leave it there, guys. Scott, again, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. You have no idea. And when people reach out to me and want to send me beers to review, he wanted to see my thoughts on this, and he reached out. And I love when people do that and reciprocate when I can. And yeah, so thanks for coming by in the bar, guys. Thank you for the likes, subscribes, and comments. Till next time. Cheers.